All right, welcome back to another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. Dane, what's going on, man?
Not too much.
We're not solo today.
We are not.
Joining us today is Mr. Jason Milletta, or Jersey Jay, as some of you guys might know him. What's going on, Jay?
How you doing, guys?
Good, man. Good. All right, so let's just start this out. All right, so you came on because there was some chatter in the social media world about a tournament that you had been promoting and that went on. So let's just keep it open-ended. Can you explain kind of like your end of things and how it all went down from your point of view?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was on Facebook and I saw a post because I'm a part of all those Facebook groups, and I think it was in Pennsylvania cornhole tournaments, and it was this guy who was he was advertising that he has a resort to run a cornhole tournament at, and he wanted to know if anyone local was willing to run the event. So I reached out to him. It wasn't local. It was about 3 hours for me, but I mean.
And is this like Oliver guy or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Toby Oliver.
Toby Oliver
is what his Instagram name is. And it was about 3 hours for me. He gave me the rundown. He made it sound like originally I thought he was like an event manager or an event coordinator for the resort.
Okay.
And he said he was going to bring in all these contractors, subcontractors, like a DJ, a masseuse. There's going to be food there. What else did he blow off? Anyway, there was a bunch of different contractors he was going to bring in, and he wanted to make it like a cornhole resort weekend, and he was going to bring me in around the cornhole side of it. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm planning it out with him. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do as far as money goes? Because
can I stop for 1 second? What's the timeline in this? Like, when did he first contact you to when the event happened?
Scratching my head here. I probably like October. I don't want to give you an exact date, but I feel like it was around the October timeline.
Okay.
When I saw the post, maybe late October. Okay. I think we had about a month and a half, 2 months to market it, because I was getting on him. I was like, yo, we need at least a month.
Okay.
To market any event. I won't run any event unless I have a month to like put it out there.
Okay.
So yeah, basically I'm planning it out with him, and he was like, listen, I'm going to rent out the facility. It was like a crazy number, like $4,000 for the day to rent it out. Or I guess for the 2 days, because I was supposed to be running it Saturday and Sunday. And he was like, don't worry about the money aspect of it, because he asked me for sponsors to cover that. I was like, dude, there's no way. Like, one, it's not going to be like, it's not an event that you can ask for sponsors, in my opinion, at least. Like, no one knew of the event. It's not like a reputable event where we can go get sponsors. He's like, no, all right, well, he had sponsors that were done this way. He told me that's how he was going to cover the cost. So I was like, all right, dude, like whatever, you want. And all the money like that people were paying for the rooms was also going to.
Okay.
So he was like, that'll go into $4,000, because he carried all the expenses. Like, he was just paying us as an event coordinator, or as him acting like an event coordinator, or like a general contractor is kind of how I put it in the terms. He was hiring subcontractors to come out and make the event, and then he was going to make the difference on the rooms, any sponsors he got, and registration fees, as long as it was above the set cash payouts, which obviously we know didn't happen. Fast forward, I made the flyer because I was a part of like my services. My services, I guess, included bringing boards, bags, scoring towers, my laptop, PA system to like announce who's on what board and everything. And Scoreholio is technically in the contract too, because that's what I run my events on. And part of that, I always offer like making a flyer for the event. So I made the flyer. I call them, I'm like, what do you want to do as far as payouts go? Some people do 70%, some people do set prizes. Whatever you do, you have to pay out. And I've had my experience with this in the past. So I'm like, just make sure you pay out. So we're about a month out when I make the flyer. And he's like, let's do set prizes. And he was like, he threw out, and don't quote me on the numbers, but it was something crazy, like $100, $200, and like $250 for first place. And I was like, no one's going to go to that. Like, there's no shot. So I was like, you got to either up the prizes or just do 70% and hope people register. And he's like, well, let's up the prizes because that way, hopefully more people will come. I said, okay, that's fine, but you're sure you have enough money in case not? And he's like, yeah, don't worry. I got sponsors, plus people already bought rooms. So I got the money. Like, it's covered. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'll put it out there. Fast forward, we're about 2 weeks, 1 week away from event time. I call him again. I'm like, yeah, you're still good with payouts. You're still good with everything. I'm still coming down. Because at that point, usually I get half payment about 2 to 3 weeks before I go to the event. That way I can lock it in on my calendar. Because believe it or not, whether the critics out there will tell you or not, we book up almost every Saturday and Sunday. Like, we run a good amount of tournaments throughout the year. So to ensure that someone doesn't back out the day of, I get half payment up front and then half payment once the event is complete to, everyone's standards, everyone's happy. And that's how I run it for fundraisers and or corporate events.
Okay.
Because that's a big chunk of my business. I really don't do competitive tournaments that much. I do maybe 3 or 4 a year, and I'll do 70% payout. I typically stay away from set prizes.
Okay. But this sounds like a corporate type event, right?
Yeah, I guess it would be considered corporate event because it's not a fundraiser.
So like you would like this would fall kind of like in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I do Christmas parties. I have a company over here who brings me around like every quarter. They do like an employee appreciation barbecue thing, and I go set up my boards. Same concept. I bring a service, and that's it.
Okay.
So I guess
let's fast forward to day of the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you check in with them 2 weeks. He said it's all good. You got your payment and you're thinking you're good. 3 hours away.
That was the thing.
Okay.
So that's when I started to panic because we're about a week out and he keeps delaying the payment because.
Then why not cancel the event?
Huh?
Why not cancel the event?
Well, he sent me screenshots. So the delayment was from, he sent up an Eventbrite page.
Yeah.
To collect the money for the hotels and the tickets and everything.
Can I ask you a question real fast? Just like up until this point, right? You have not gone there. You talked to the guy. I'm assuming you've never met him in person.
No.
Okay. Did you not see like the big fucking red flags everywhere so far with this? Like, were you not sketched out? Like, at what point did you not be like, listen, I shouldn't be associating with a guy like this? Did you do homework on the resort? Like,
no, so that's where I messed up. I know that's on me. I should have definitely done research, and I didn't.
TripAdvisor, the first two, dude, literally as soon as I saw your flyer.
Can you pull them up while we're?
I can,
talking?
yeah.
Thanks.
But like as soon as you posted the flyer,
I read the reviews.
Yeah, the first two
reviews
on it,
just for the listeners, anyways. But okay. So again, were you aware? Like, did it cross your mind at all? Like that, like, all right, there's some red flags here. Maybe I should like just not do this.
Not really.
Give me Microsoft Word in 15 minutes, and I'll make you an Eventbrite page that's believable, and I can screenshot it.
Well, no, see, if you go on there, so this is where I messed up, right?
Okay.
He sent me, I didn't look it up on Google. He sent me the resort website link and I just clicked on the website, and the website makes it look fantastic.
And now you got malware.
That's on me. That's on me. I should have definitely done my research. I can admit to that. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to say on that.
All right, so
that's my bad.
We fast forward to the day of the event.
Yeah. So
when you get there, what is your thoughts? Because I mean, you created this. Listen, as a marketing guy, like the flyer you created, it was eye catching. Yeah, this DJ, a party, like it looked like a fucking party. I've seen pictures of the event. When you roll up there, nothing says party about this place, right?
No.
Like, were you starting to get worried a little bit?
So I roll up and the outside actually doesn't look bad. I'm like, okay.
That's the only picture I saw of the place, by the way, was the outside. So I'm just saying. All right, continue. Seriously.
Like, actually?
I'm going to show my brother the picture. I'm being honest.
Go ahead.
All right. You can keep going. Keep going.
Okay. So at least in my opinion, the outside didn't look bad. I don't know what picture you saw, but the front of the building doesn't look bad. Can you flip it this way? Because I'm curious what it is.
Let me get it a little bigger so I can flip it. I don't know if you can see that.
Vaguely.
That's from the parking lot.
Kind of looks like the parking lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
So that was around that. At least what I think that is, because it was a little blurry, but I think that was around back. So when I first pull up, the front doesn't look bad.
Okay.
I go in. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Where am I setting up the event? And I'm like, I'm cold. I'm like, yeah, what the hell? Like, maybe I'm just like cold because I didn't have the heat on when I got out of the car. Maybe it's colder in PA. And then I start to think about it. I'm like, yeah, like I'm starting to shiver in here a little bit. They didn't have the heat on. So then I was like, okay, this is bad. That's when I was like, okay, shit's not good. So then I was like, all right, I gave him the benefit. I was like, maybe it was just in the lobby, like the rooms have heat, whatever. The ballroom that we were going to be in had heat. And it didn't. But we're only an hour out from the event at this point, and people are starting to show up. So what am I going to do? Cancel?
I get it at that point. I do get it at that point. All right. So you run the tournament. It's not the greatest situation. I think we've all been to tournaments where like the atmosphere wasn't maybe everything we thought it was going to be. So the event ends. At what point do you know that like the cash prize is not going to be $1,000 for first?
So he tells me we were probably 2 or 3 games, because there's 4-game round robin into a double elimination bracket.
Okay.
We were probably 2 or 3 games into the round robin.
Okay.
And he comes up and he's like, yeah, I don't know. People aren't ordering food. I don't know what we're going to do about the payout. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you said you had money to cover it just in case like people didn't pre-register. So he's like, well, yeah, like, I don't know. I'll go to the back and see what I can do. So then he comes back and he's like, yeah, we can't. You just got to put down these cash prizes. I was like, you can't do that. Like, that,
so, okay,
that's not how Cornhole
did you
works.
make an announcement, or did you just change it on Scoreholio?
I changed it on Scoreholio, and then I did go around to people and kind of just like, hey, like, you know, this is what's going down type of a thing. Now I didn't go like up to people when they were mid-match, but I did like make my rounds as people were finishing up.
So I think the final prize that was listed on Scoreholio was $360 for first place.
Yeah, whatever was listed was I don't know. Let me see.
And who handled the cash payouts at the end?
So I handled like money that was given, like people who paid cash for the event.
Yeah.
I had it in like, because I have a little bin that I keep all the money in for the event. That was there. That was me. But
was all that money then used for the prize pool?
Yeah, I didn't have any money to like, there was no money left over because some people pre-registered for the tournament through Eventbrite.
Okay.
So the only amount of cash that was there was enough. Like that, I said, okay, well, we need to at least give all the cash away. Like, because he was trying to even get lower than the whatever the final payouts were. Like he wanted to go back to 100, 200, 250 or whatever I said in the beginning. I was like, dude, like you gotta at least give the cash that's here. Because he's like, well, I don't have any money. Oh, well, we have cash here. You're not going to at least short him of that. So he did do that. But then all the money that was in Eventbrite, all the money that people signed up with the hotels, I had no access to that. Like throughout the whole process, that went straight to him.
Why not tell everyone that day to be like, listen, we're done with this. Like we're going to cancel it.
What do you mean what day? Like
that day
after I found out in the round robin?
No, I mean like that day, like before people are leaving, like because you like it was not till later that evening that you canceled the next day, correct? You canceled the singles event.
Yeah, so I was asked if I was going to come back, and I was, but then I had 4 people unregister that night after they were there that day.
Yeah.
Because like there was 3 people there. I might even have more than 4 because there was 3 people there who bought tickets for the doubles event on Saturday and the singles event plus a hotel room. But then they went there and they were like, yeah, we're not staying here, so we're not coming back from Sunday. Plus I had people like over on the Jersey side, because this was all the way up in PA, who were supposed to travel down, and they ended up unregistering as well. So at that point, I was like, okay, we have 4 teams that are here. They're not, he wasn't going to pay them out at all. He was offering.
Did you end up getting paid for the event?
I got, he paid me $50 to get down there, like not as my deposit, but like when the whole payment thing was going bad in the beginning.
Yeah.
He paid me $50 to get down there for gas, but obviously it cost me more than $50 to get over there.
So, okay, real quick. So we're kind of like up against it. We do have another interview to get to. I want to hear your take because we haven't talked to you since since the last time we talked to you. Yeah. What in your word, what the hell went down with MLC? Like what's going, like, is it completely done? Because you guys kind of left it as this, hey, we might come back kind of thing, but doesn't seem like it.
My opinion, I'm definitely kicking myself in the butt for not selling out with my other 3 partners. I don't know. I mean, as of right now, it's not looking good, but like new management kind of took over and just ran it into the ground per se.
So it's not NACA. It has no affiliation with the new NACA.
No,
okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, you probably do, right? Because there's some people from the New Jersey team ownership that are now also associated with NACA, right?
So here's the timeline of what happened. I know you guys are on a crunch, but once new ownership took over,
but there is some crossover, correct? There's crossover from MLC into the NACA.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I
know, but okay.
Yeah, sure. Then I genuinely don't know. Like, okay. I haven't heard.
Okay, so how are you handling all of like this negative stuff? Because I mean, clearly, you're not a super popular guy in the cornhole community right now. You know what I mean? So like, going forward, like why would anyone that's in the know go to one of your events right now? Like, do you take any ownership of like what happened at like the cornhole stuff, or are you still, is it kind of like, hey,
all right. So let me deboggle 2 things here. One, anyone who thinks I made money off the MLC is completely wrong. Like I said, I wish I would have sold out with my partners. I didn't take any money with anyone. I walked away from a pretty fat check that I should have accepted. But that's just that I don't know. I can't convince people otherwise. No money was taken from anyone. I took no money. Secondly, I still run pretty solid events. I take ownership for what happened on that weekend. I mean, I should have definitely done my research. The analogy I'll use though, like if you're going to a restaurant for a special, right, for a $5 burger, and you show up and they charge you $25 for that burger, are you gonna get mad at the restaurant, or are you gonna get mad at the cook in the back who's just supplying the food? And that's sort of what happened at the resort weekend, in my opinion. I was there to bring my product, bring my boards. I had
but you were also responsible for marketing the event and trying to draw attention to getting people to go to a shitty situation. So like there is this ownership. You can be the chef hiding in the back all you want, but if the chef's outside shoving burgers in everyone's face, come eat here. Then yeah, you can blame the chef a little bit, right?
100%.
That's what I'm looking at. I mean, if you want to go into like that realm, like it's like the girl in the mall, right? Passing out free samples. Like you don't want one, but like she's putting that wiener in your mouth. Like it's going to happen.
She's going to throw it to you. Then when you're on the toilet for an hour later,
yeah,
you know who to blame.
Here, think of it. So, listen, man, like I wish you luck in future stuff. Thanks for coming on. I think first of all, it takes a big person to come on. So I do respect that. So props to you on that. I think that you need to make sure you're doing your research before, if we're taking everything at word, what you're saying, exactly how it went down, then the one thing you really failed at is just doing your homework ahead of time and not seeing the red flags when they're all over it.
No, absolutely. I agree. Like I said, I took ownership for that. I definitely agree that I should have done homework on that. But yeah, other than that, I got no other big plans for Cornhole. I'm going to run my own local stuff and just kind of keep doing my own thing. I work a job, whether people believe it or not. I don't just steal money from the Cornhole community. So I do have a 9-to-5 job. And I'm busy. I own a couple other companies just on the side. So I'm a busy guy, but I do enjoy going to my Cornhole leagues, the ones that are no payouts. Just we built that family per se over the past 2 years. They request no payouts. Actually, it's just kind of like a social laid back thing.
It's a nice payout though. $120 a team. That's not bad for no payouts. It's some trophies and shit at the end.
You got to rent the space.
I get it. I'm just saying it's good. It's smart. I get it. Listen, if more people would be okay without cash payouts, Cornhole might be a happier world, but it's not the world we live in right now. So
no, I hear it. And then that and fundraisers. It's cool. You're raising money for people and, being a part of something bigger than Cornhole.
There's nothing bigger than Cornhole.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for hopping on. We're going to let you go in just a second. But everyone that's tuning in, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again next Wednesday like we normally are. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but 4-baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.